Hello, everyone, and welcome back to today's episode of Magnificence. I, as always, am here as your DM. My name is G. I'm very excited to embark on another adventure with this ragtag group of adventurers. Just a quick moment to once again thank Sarsen Games here at the beginning for writing the incredible sourcebook Oracle's Vagra that we are using all throughout this campaign, for some very fun subclasses and some lore that is implemented into this campaign. So, without further ado, let's get into a very quick recap of our last session. So, we started our session picking up after the strange bandit encounter out in Grimhold Valley, just as they were leaving Seer's Morning. Very tense slash comical encounter with the knight Sir Solomon of House Domseer, where he quickly and very vaguely explained his intentions and his job he was embarking on before disappearing further down the road, having a bit of a strange familiarity with our Lady Alina. The party continued on down the road, crossing through a very grim sight of Empire enemies strung up and made examples of. One in particular with a sign that read, "Wolves Not Safe," directly calling out any affiliates of the Conclave. The party camped for the night, having a night of rest where Kuvos was able to check in with the strange spirit haunting his staff, where he gave him an explanation of the unknown curse of almost madness that plagues the staff, warning him of days to come and what the staff may bring upon him. Everyone had a very calm, peaceful night of rest, Caradwin reaching out with a prayer for Marak, the deity that has reached out to them previously. Waking up in the morning and embarking on some travel, we hit a good spot of some pretty nasty weather, slowing down travel quite a bit. And by the time our party hit Beggar's Hole, the first stop on the way to Walking Still, Sage spotted a plume of black smoke rising up from her hometown, taking Alina's horse riding ahead to see two spellcasters being quickly subdued and her father assisting in their capture before spotting her and telling her to go home and that he would join her later. The party reconvened with Sage before going back to her family home, having a nice sit-down home-cooked meal with the lot of them, with Elias and Aletta, the housekeeper, and the most important member of Sage's household, Cedric, the very, very old dog. Everyone had a fulfilling meal, and Olwyn gave Kuvos a way to hide his conclave affiliation for the area that they were in, with a rather awkward conversation with strange pauses. Wrapping up our evening, Suda, sitting on her cot, sharing a room with Sage, felt the familiar soft voice of her sister reach out, telling her about this strange feeling she had, something underground that almost calls to her, something strange up against her back, and the weird feeling of displacement that the area she occupies gives her. Picking up on that very same night, let's finish out our night with Sage finishing delivering tea to everyone. Everyone gets a nice warm cup of tea to wind them down for the evening before Sage takes the last one to her father's study. You knock on the door and it creaks open slowly. You see him sitting at his desk as normal. It's a cluttered but cozy space. There's all kinds of medical tomes surrounding him. You see he's furiously scribbling down some letters. You have to assume maybe about the events that unfolded today. He has a furrow in his brow as he's concentrated on writing, almost barely doesn't even catch you entering, glancing up and, "Oh, Sage, please come in. Oh."
Yeah, I enter and I set the tray in front of him. I think I probably grabbed, if we had some like fruit or something. Probably actually not a fruit, because now I'm thinking about like, oh, it's fall and Valentine. I found some sort of like bread or something to go along with it. I don't think Sage's tea is necessarily like sleepy time tea for sure, because I know he's going to be up for a while longer.
Oh, yeah.
But this is one that she has prepared many, many times.
Yeah.
and she assumed it was expected.
Yeah. If anyone wonders where Sage gets her fervent, sleepless, reading, writing, staying up until the wee hours of the night doing your work and study, they would just have to take one look at Elias in his study and be like, ah, that's where that came from. He is very much a familiar picture that you see him and both within yourself repeating. He accepts the tea gratefully and kind of pushes his letter aside to take a long, slow sip, relishing in the blend of tea you have given him. It is one that he is familiar with and one that he always appreciates when you bring him. He sits back in his chair and slowly puts down the teacup and just.
Now, I usually don't see you tackling people to help out around here. That was a bit of a surprise.
That was me at the end of my rope, losing my patience a bit. It's just some conclave graduates who are trying to cause trouble. It's nothing. They've been going on for a while, but they finally crossed the line today. And after pulling someone out, I turned and saw one of them making a run for it, so I took his ass down when I got the chance. Can you blame
I don't
me?
think anybody would blame you at all for taking down an arsonist and making sure that they didn't get away with it.
Yeah.
How? You think they're just sending conclave graduates just to cause chaos, though? Have they confessed, or?
I don't know if their conclave is sending them. They're recent graduates, from what I can tell. I think they're just causing trouble to cause trouble. They can't get closer to the Empire than us, so we're just collateral damage at this point.
They can, though.
They can try. You see the gallows they have strung up all along the road to the city?
I'm wanting to roll like a wisdom check, insight, I don't know, because I trust my father implicitly.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's a good idea to say that, like, no, like, I literally met somebody in Sears Morning. He's literally in our house right now.
Up to you, yeah. If you want to try to roll an insight to see, how receptive he'll be.
That's a dirty 20. Holy shit.
Ooh.
I'm rolling really good on these wisdom checks. I only have +1.
Mm-hmm. You have never known your father to have strong biases towards one side or another.
Mm-hmm.
He's just.
I literally went to the conclave.
Yeah.
Maybe not with his blessing, but he let me.
Mm-hmm. He's not particularly like a anti-conclave. He just understands that where he's living is very much nearly in the heart of like the Empire territory, and he understands how dangerous it would be for individuals like that, and that's unfortunately the position of the town here, Beggar's Hole, is that they're going to catch a lot of the collateral damage because it's just barely outside of the Empire's direct reach.
We're at a crossroads here. Yeah. No, I mean, literally, Kuvos is a prefect. We met because he's a prefect.
Is he?
He was sent to do some errands in Sears Morning. And we happened to run into each other. I should fill you in on what we're doing. We're going to Morakros. That's why we're passing through.
Where?
The buried city.
Oh, the place that the earthquake brought in Margot.
Yes. You're familiar with Duke Leto?
Going there.
You're familiar with Duke Leto?
I believe so. He's the man out of Understone, some scholar, is about what I know.
He's hired a lot of us to go investigate it.
And you're going underground to check out this place that just collapsed from an earthquake?
Well, it was a bit ago. It didn't just collapse.
Okay, I need to do my breathing. Okay.
Sorry, I don't laugh at my dad.
My children are trying to kill me. Okay. I trust you will be safe, and that the people you are traveling with are people you can trust to help keep you safe as well. Correct?
Yes, of course. We already... Well, if you didn't like that, I shouldn't tell you what happened before this, I
Please
guess.
don't tell me stories about you being in mortal peril. I don't think I can take it. I think I would lock the door and not let you leave.
She does laugh at that.
He kind of laughs along with you. Okay. Now, I mean, danger aside, it does sound exactly like the sort of thing you would sign up to do, so I'm not surprised there. It's absolutely crazy. I'm just worried about the state of things, as I'm sure everyone is that you speak to these days.
Mm-hmm.
There's, again, pardon my language, so much shit is gonna go wrong, kid. I don't know. I worry. Obviously about you and Willow, but just about everyone, you know? Because things like this, when they happen, it's not gonna be people like, and pardon me, Lady Alina, who are out on the front lines risking their lives. It's gonna be people like you and me who get caught in the crossfire.
Not to mention there's bigger things to worry about. No, you get it.
I am not excited for when this whole thing explodes in our face.
I think you'd be insane to be.
Yeah. When it does, Sage, could you just... He's like kind of leaning across the desk, kind of has a hand on your forearm. Just, if not able to come home, just write me. Everything in the Empire is going to get really bad, really, really fast, and I want to make sure you're not caught in anything.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
We are probably going to be setting out in the morning, but is there anything I can help you with at least tonight?
Oh, no. We're actually, despite how you entered the city tonight, we're actually doing well.
It's a little bit more excitement than I'm used to being. I was gone for 4 years, and all of a sudden you've got anti-magic helms and arsonists from... I don't know that they're from the Conclave, Papa. That doesn't make sense.
We'll find out. Obviously, I'm not involved in the actual law-abiding part of it, but I'll ask. Maybe people still respect my word enough that they'll tell me what the hell's going on. But
that doesn't seem like their MO.
Yeah. I'll see what I can find out. I'll write you if it's anything strange, just so you can be kept in the loop.
Appreciated.
Yeah. I know you would have bothered me about it anyways.
Come on, let me... How are you organizing these days? I'm like picking up some books and...
I'm organizing by subject, but subject is also organized chronologically within their own subsections. So
got
if
it.
you want to
Got
take
it.
this one here, it starts picking up and going through tomes with you. About part way into it, before like he's like shooing you away, like bidding you goodnight, like you go sleep. He's like shooing you towards the door, but seems to pause, remember something, goes, "Oh wait, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I found this the other day." He opens his drawer and starts digging through it, and it produces from the drawer a smooth triangular adder stone. There's a hole in the middle. It is a very smooth stone with like a dark gray speckled face. And it just looks like a neat little trinket. He pulls it out. Believe it or not, Willow actually sent this my way, saying that she did not know where you were at these days, but if next time I saw you, to pass this off to you. So, here you go. Holds the stone out to you. Just feeling the cool stone on your skin, your familiarity with the arcane. You know this has some magical ability. Nothing too strong, but you know there's something within it. And he kind of explains as he hands it to you. It's a little trinkets that she said would probably help you, or at the very least just give you something interesting to have in your pocket these days. He explains, it basically allows you to once a day look through it for see invisibility. So it's a little magical stone to allow you to see invisible creatures. And I will give you the actual magic item at a later time. But he passes that off to you, bids you good night, gives you a big hug, ruffles your hair so it's really messy.
I know you said you hadn't heard from her lately, but where was she last? Because she didn't know where I was, and I don't know where she is, so we weren't able to contact each other.
Yeah. Well, she sent that to me several weeks ago so she could be. When she sent me the letter, she was in deeply like southern Ancairn, moving east, so towards Understone. I don't know if that was her goal, was to go there, but she's sort of moving along the southern coast last I heard from her. So I assume maybe somewhere in Mardo crossing into Understone. Who knows?
Maybe we'll run into her.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Good night.
Good night. Sleep well. Check in with me in the morning. If you sneak out and don't say goodbye to me, I'm stealing a horse from the neighbor and I'm going to follow you.
All right.
All right, get some sleep, kid. He pushes you out the door in a very loving way, closes it behind him, and you are left to return to your room and get some rest. Everyone has a full night's sleep. Of course, no need for watch. You guys are sleeping safe in this home.
I think Alina had one more thing before
Yes.
bed.
Anything else from Alina?
Two things. The first off is since I am in Sage's sister's room and I am alone in Sage's sister's room, I want to do a little bit of the not invasive snooping, like not actually crossing any boundaries, but just that thing you do when you're in someone's guest room and you kind of look around and it's like, oh, there's a little box here. Like this is all stuff that's clearly put out to be seen. Can I intuit anything about this Willow who I've only heard mentioned very briefly around the dinner table, and like who they are or what they're about?
Can
or
I
anything
take
like
this?
that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thing is, this is not set up as a guest room. It has not really been changed aside from being dusted.
Yeah.
I think the biggest, most obvious thing that you see, and it's not actually big per se, but it is the most unusual, is that there is a floating shelf on the wall with a small terracotta totem on it, and with a few candles and an incense holder surrounding it. I don't know how much Alina knows of the practice of the worship of gods. It's not something that is super common, and this isn't a super well known icon of this deity, I don't think.
Alina, go ahead and give me a religion check as you observe this
Will
altar.
do. Go. Yeah. That's a knowledge dice. Actually, oh no, I'll use my new one. Ha. Oh, should not have used the new one. That is. Sorry, what did you say it was that I was rolling?
Religion.
Religion. That is a 9.
9. You don't quite grasp who this is dedicated to. You can definitely tell this is a like godly setup. This is someone who is worshiping one deity in particular, but you're not really a religious person yourself, nor do religious folks really hang around where you're from. So it does not come to mind.
But I think she also had like a small spinning wheel. You can see there's some like old craft supplies that are just still shoved in a box in the corner or something of that sort. Just overall, just seems to be a cozy room of a young woman. Aside from that,
finishing up that quick description, I will also just add on here at the end. Give me another check. This one being perception.
Perception. Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Oh my god.
Ooh. Perception. 13.
13. You are kind of just observing the space around you. You're noticing it's dusted. It's like it's kept up. It's kept nice, but nothing has really been moved out or moved around. Which is why when the one book sticks out to you. It sticks out because it has not been dusted. It's not on the shelf. It's on top of the books pushed back that are on the shelf. So it's not quite hidden, it's just a bit more out of the way. One that someone not paying very close attention would see, probably. And you pull it out, I assume?
Oh, yeah.
Upon taking it out, you realize it's not a book. It's not like a bound book. It's like a journal. It's something to write in rather than something to read.
Mm. The D&D player in me is saying read the journal. The polite guest in me is saying gently put it back and don't read. I have to go with character choice. She's going to just kind of close it or put it back on the shelf as carefully as she can so that it matches.
You're killing me, Jacqueline.
Or maybe
You put
it just
back
like
on the
falls
shelf.
off the shelf and opens.
It falls
Just one
off and
page. Just
falls
give us one
open.
page, G, please.
So you put it back on the shelf and
I
you
said it out loud
resign
already.
yourself.
Sorry, I should have pulled on it.
Yeah, you settle in for the night.
There's actually one other thing that I do.
Yeah.
Which is before I go to bed, I kind of arrange myself. I just sit cross-legged on the bed. Unseen servant is ready but hasn't tucked me in yet because they do that every night. But first I take out my lyre, which I brought with me just to kind of keep it out of the wet, and I start plucking at first randomly, but those of us who were in the library that day previously will start to recognize that I'm slowly picking out the tune that Olwen sang to us.
Mm-hmm.
And in a very bardic kind of rough, not trying to capture the exact words because it was a foreign language and I don't know them, but sort of trying to capture the spirit of the song and some of the words, just kind of quietly picking it. And I assume this place is small enough that folks can sort of hear it, but not so loudly that it's intrusive. Because working on songs can be a non-pleasant experience to listen to. So it's not that. It's like the sort of little quiet voice and plucked sounds traveling through the space.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else from anyone as we wrap up the evening?
So before Kuvos goes to bed, the assumption that these mages who committed the arson are conclave is kind of sitting with him, and that there's been frequent trouble here. And I think he would decide to discreetly take out the sending stone and send a quick message to Magister Kieran and just say, stopped in Beggar's Hole. There was an arson incident. 2 assumed conclave wizards arrested for it. Might want to look into that.
You send that off, and there's several long minutes of silence before you get a reply of a drowsy sounding magister. Right. Yep. Arson. Got it. Good night. Calling him at 3 a.m. Teacher, I found something. I love it.
Sorry, I figured you might want to know.
I love it. I love it. I love that I gave you a direct way to call this guy at any hour, at any day, and he has to live with the consequences.
Yep.
Amazing. Okay, yeah. Anything else from anyone, or are we just gonna wrap up this night? Wonderful. Okay. Everyone gets a full night's rest. Everyone gets a long rest. You wake up in the morning. Breakfast is provided for everyone. You guys are all allowed, like, oh, Aletta comes through, like, let me wash your clothes, let me go through this, let's clean your shoes, get you ready for travel. Like, you guys are taken care of in the morning, taken great care of. For Leto comes through the street. I assume you kind of told him where you were staying at, Sage, where the house was. Yeah. He pulls up outside and is just kind of waiting, patiently and respectfully, not wanting to come banging on the door or anything. You can't tell if it's out of respect though, or out of just like not wanting to talk to people. Either way, he waits out in the carriage for you guys. You all have breakfast, all get cleaned up, and are all ready to depart, unless there's anything else you guys want to do here in the morning. Of course, Sage, your father, says goodbye, gives you a big hug, wishes you luck, reminds you in a lovingly, threateningly way, write me letters, call your father, essentially.
It's been 4 years. I stay one night and then leave immediately. Yeah, that checks out.
This is what I get for raising you. Oh, woe is me. Heavy on the guilt tripping.
It is tough because Sage was just as raised by like Aletta and some other staff who are no longer working here because there's only one man living in this household, and therefore more staff is not needed now. So as close as they seemed in that moment, they're honestly not that close.
It's just the relief of, I haven't seen you in such a long time, but if you really, in your heart of hearts, if you stayed for like any length of time, it would kind of resort back to how it normally is, which is, hey, I'm off to work, see you whenever. Mm-hmm. He's very much like yourself, constantly working, constantly obsessed with the thing he's doing, and when he's not at the clinic working, he's spending his off time locked in his study. So, as lovely as it is, it's the best when it's a very brief visit, so you don't fall back into old habits.
Exactly.
But you are all bid goodbye from the Xenia's household.
I take some carrots with us for the horse.
Yeah, absolutely. She loves them.
Oh, yeah. And Elena, as the carrots are taken, kind of leaves a small token that has Lindara's house symbol on it. It's just the standard, like, relatively cheap, small thing. It's just sort of say, like, thank you for hosting us kind of thing. Everyone who hosts us gets one kind of thing. But leaves a second one because of the carrots.
Absolutely. But you all depart from Beggar's Hole. A nice respite before you guys continue on your journey. Let me pull up our map here and just kind of see where we're at. So, you guys are going to spend probably the entire next day and a half or so continuing travel through Valensun. By afternoon-ish tomorrow, you guys will have officially left Valensun and will enter Mardo into House Gravestark territory. So, you guys are going to travel for the entire day through House Lindara's territory, half the day tomorrow before finally reaching the next kingdom over. So let's go ahead. And again, this is for any like travel downtime that we have. If anyone has anything they want to take care of, just absolutely let me know. We will take care of it. Until that is, though, let's go ahead and have someone roll for our travel. For anyone who wants to volunteer themselves to roll.
I mean, since we keep talking about how it's House Lindaris, maybe I should be the one to roll?
Maybe you'll bring us luck.
Yeah, go for it.
I haven't been rolling all that well today.
The Nightmare King has to observe the rite of hospitality.
Yeah, come on.
13.
Dragon comes down, eats everyone.
Oh.
Oh, man.
God damn it, I told my dad we'd be safe.
Hospitality. Well, shucks.
Look how long that lasted.
He knows it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you said 13.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and roll me 2d10 and just add up the total for me.
2d10, got it. 10 plus 4, 9.
9. So, you guys are traveling through. The weather has sort of drawn back a bit, allowing you guys to continue on your way, but just the mud and the muck that is stuck to the carriage and the already delayed from yesterday means you guys are leaving a little later today and the road is not in the best condition. So you're still moving pretty slow, but there's no new weather events that are adding on to this slow travel. As you guys are continuing on, you're not passing too many people currently. Until about halfway into the day, you see what looks like a traveling, not caravan like yours, much more official. Not like a noble caravan. This is like a military one, I would more equate it to. It is a reinforced wagon with armored soldiers walking alongside of it. You recognize them. These are belonging to House Stroudmore. They are traveling north, seemingly returning to their correct territory. And they are marching along, one gentleman at the front riding a very decorated, like, war horse with a bit more extravagant armor that he is wearing. Head held high, holding himself with dignity and grace as they march along. They kind of nod to each other as they notice you guys coming in the opposite direction. And the one at the very front holds out a hand to sort of grab your attention. Leto, who is at the front of your guys' caravan, driving it with one of the other mercenaries that he's hired to assist with the travel, comes to a stop, and you guys get word through the people assisting the caravan. Word travels back to your Vardo that you guys are stopping. There's a sort of Shroudmore convoy up ahead that has bid you all to stop. You guys can hear the conversation up ahead. You guys aren't super far back, and if anyone cares to chime in, you're more than welcome to, but you guys can hear the words being exchanged with Leto. The gentleman at the very front, who seems to be leading this convoy, begins to ask loudly, "You there! What's your name?" Duke Leto straightens himself up and calls back just as loudly, "Ah! Hello! I am Duke Leto of House Talcaster. What's maybe going on today?" The man at the front clears his throat. "Well, Duke Leto, there is no issue with yourselves or ours. Merely wish to ask if you've seen anything. We're on the lookout for someone. Here, let me provide you a drawing." He produces a what looks to be like a wanted poster. Passes it forward. You guys obviously cannot see, but Duke Leto takes it in his hand, seems to be like turning it like really dramatically, and he's like, nope, cannot say I have seen her anywhere. Sorry, wish I could help you, but here, please. I will absolutely notify the nearest servant of the Empire if I do see anything, but thank you so much for your assistance in keeping our Empire safe, good sir. And the guy in the warhorse is kind of put back by Duke Leto's really extreme response and kind of takes the poster back. Right. Well, I'm sure you wouldn't mind if I went through and asked other people of your caravan, now would you? And there's a pause. During this pause, Olwen, are you doing anything?
Are Olwen's eyes good enough to have clocked the image on the poster from this far away?
Go ahead and roll me perception with disadvantage, because he's like sitting at the reins on the one ahead of you.
Okay.
And then, Alina, anything from you during this pause?
Even with disadvantage, that's a 16. I don't know if that's good enough.
16. You can see the outline of some short hair, but that's about it.
Given that I know Leto pretty well, can I do insight to figure out if, like, is he being his standard, like, energetic self, or is he covering for something?
Yeah, I'll say roll that with advantage, simply because you do know him very well. He's your contact.
Just offhandedly to the party, Owen is going to say, they're looking for some woman with short hair, seems like.
That is a 12. Thank God for advantage.
Oh, is that 12 with advantage?
12 with advantage, gotcha. Yes.
You can't tell too well.
Okay.
He's very flamboyant in his speech. And you think maybe that's why he does it, because people cannot figure out what the fuck he's talking about. But during this pause, you both kind of discern in your own way as he asks, "Can I check with the other people of your caravan?" Leto gives that long pause and then seems to collect himself. Of course. Please, walk through, ask each of my mercenaries. They're all sellswords, hired hands that are just coming through helping me travel. You know how dangerous it is. Why, just the other day, and before he can launch into this tangent to throw this guy off, you hear him go like, "I will continue on my way as soon as I let everyone have a look. Thank you." You guys hear the man at the front dismount from his horse and begin to walk down the caravan.
Suda has the
you hear him
sudden, like, strong urge to hide under the bed.
You hear him asking people, "Have you seen this person? We're on the lookout," showing off the poster, showing off the page. And everyone's saying, "Oh, nope, I haven't seen her. Nope, I don't know what you're talking about. Nope, nope, da 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 da." Everyone kind of giving the same answer. And then, Alina, are you out on your horse?
I'm going to say yes, I am out on my horse.
I would like to remember, arcane lock. Nobody can enter the Vardo without one of us opening the door.
They stop outside the Vardo, but given that Alina is on the horse outside, they go to her first. You see the man. He has a big, heavy helm, but like the visor is flipped up so you can see his face. Just a grizzled old soldier guy. He looks to you, my lady. Would you mind taking a look? Telling me if you've seen this person?
Of course. Please show. Anything Lindaris can do for your excellencies.
You take the page, unfold it. You see Suda's face looking back at you.
Am I able to hide my reaction?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me a deception roll, and I will read out the contents of the poster for you.
Got it. Oh, thank God I have high deception. That is an 11.
11.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, guys.
And it wouldn't be a big reaction, to be clear. It's just like that little, because I don't think I can give myself bardic inspiration.
Now that they're close, is my observant feat good enough to, like, clock the image?
Yeah, you guys, I assume, are, like, peering out the window. No. So, yeah, I'll say Olwen with your observant feat, you can see.
Even I will sort of see them peering out the window and show it to them as well, so that we've done the, you don't need to check inside, they're checking.
Trying to keep them from knocking on the door. Gotcha.
I'm looking over the top, like leaning over the top of the, the roof, just kind of looking down also to be like, nope, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Does not look familiar to me.
This must be one of the rare times that Suda's actually in the Vardo and not like out flirting with somebody or on the roof.
Sage, it looks very genuinely she's playing up the concern, because she is very genuinely concerned in this moment.
Before, I'll get some deception rolls from other people here in a moment, but before we get that, let me just give you the rest of this poster here. So, you see it is a wanted poster, but not like dead or alive or anything. It says, wanted persons of interest aligned with suspicious activity occurring within Understone. You see that it's not necessarily accusing Suda of any particular crime. It's basically saying, we need this person to be dragged back to Understone because we have to talk to her about something covertly, essentially is what it's saying. It is saying that she is required to be dragged back to Wolves Landing. She is being requested to be presented at the Conclave. But again, nothing specific that it is saying she is wanted of, nor any specific name or person that is requesting her. Merely says, person of interest, bring her to the Conclave.
Forgive me, I'm confused. Why is someone of House Shroudmore doing work for the Conclave? It's an odd poster for you to be showing around.
He's just looking at your face. Of course. Merely attempting to keep these lands of travel a bit safer. If there's someone threatening peace here in the area, well, we're going to make sure they're returns to where they belong, despite the current disagreements with the Conclave. Besides, it's not like there's any war happening.
But you're passing through Lindaris territory. I would think that it is Lindaris' task to keep these lands secure, is it not?
Lindaris is part of Valensun, is it not?
It is, but why is Shroudmore doing conclave business in the middle of our lands? I'm just confused. Enlighten me.
Well, my lady, I'm sure you are confused. Obviously, you have not seen this person.
Never.
Of course.
Are you going to do anything about those arsonists up in Beggar's Hole?
Fully ignoring the voice coming from the caravan, just looking at Alina. I will say this, we merely received some reports from House Lindaris' representative that this individual was spotted in this area. We are merely assisting as best we can to our neighboring house.
And I'm sure your assistance is most appreciated and noted.
Travel well, everyone. Be safe.
And you as well. And Alina starts to...
Takes the poster.
Elena hands it back. Yeah, she just hands it back. She's not going to try anything at this point.
You see him retreat back to his convoy. He gets back to his horse, but does not mount it. He motions one of the soldiers marching with him to come closer. And he doesn't spare another glance toward your guys' caravan, but he whispers something to the soldier, and the soldier looks towards your caravan.
I can read lips. What did he say?
Oh, not just that. I could do one better. Is he within 60 feet of me?
Yeah, I would say he's within 60 feet.
Telepathy.
Wonderful. Is this detect thoughts?
No, so I took the telepathic feat.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So please read me the mechanics of
Yes.
this,
So the mechanics are...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, sorry. Now I have to detect thoughts. I'm wrong. I could put sounds into him, but I have to do detect thoughts. So detect thoughts, light, not trying to dig in.
Okay. And then I will say, Olwen, only because of your observant feat, I will say give me a perception check. He's like mostly turned his back towards you, but it's enough of a profile view you can kind of see. So we'll see how much you can pick up.
Damn it.
With your
that's a natural one, so I don't hear anything.
Damn. Okay. Wonderful. So with your like surface level detect thoughts, the vibe you get is very simply put, I know she just lied to me. As he gets back up on his horse. They trouble you no further. They simply nod to the caravan, wish you all a good day and a good day of safe travel, and continue on their way.
Suda's gonna hear in her head, stay hidden, they're looking for you. That had your face on it. That's the telepathy.
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out, like, where Suda was in this and if she was aware of what was going on. Because it'd be funny if she's just, like, lounging and she gets this, like, message and, like, have my face on what?
Fully, like, relaxed, kicked back in the hammock.
What's your passive perception? I don't know.
Oh, it's terrible.
The moment Owen sees like that Suda's on the poster, he would have like come over to like whisper, "Hey,
okay,
we're
Gotcha.
Hey, so you're on a wanted poster, and some military jackasses are looking for you."
At which point she would have prepared for battle, essentially. Pressed her back against the wall, shadows creeping up for that mage armor effect, and blade out. But then when Alina speaks in her head, which she's oddly used to, just a different voice this time. She just gives a simple nod and stays quiet.
The convoy passes without any further issue, but Alina, you know that he knows you were lying, and that you, at the very least, have seen this person or know where they are. So they leave with that knowledge and continue on. But the remainder of your day of travel is uneventful.
Did Sage tell us about the sea invisibility thing?
No, but I was planning to ask Olwen if he had some sort of leather string or something that I could have.
Yeah, sure. What kind of leather string are you looking for? Does it need to be from this animal? Do you want it from just
a string will do.
Okay.
She would put like a very simple slip knot and make it into a pendant, very long, kind of almost hangs down low enough that it can be hidden in a cloak or something. Clearly walking around she's been doing this whole time. Like, she hides her wand on her person. The hat, it's because it keeps the sun and rain away, you know? She's pretty low-key about magic and that, having grown up here. So,
Yeah.
I don't know that she would have said anything, because that was a very, very emotional moment for Sage. So I don't think she would have said anything. I think Olwen would have seen it, because she would have asked for, like, is this not going to hold kind of thing.
Real quick before we continue on to our camp, Alina, what ability was that you used again?
Detect thoughts.
Right, that was your bardic ability. Okay, yeah, you are correct. I remember that now. So yeah, go ahead. That was a wisdom save, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, wisdom save.
Wisdom save is 11.
That is
Yeah,
just enough.
Yeah. Yep.
Just barely. Almost got you. Yeah, you feel a bit of a headache creeping on, but quickly fight it back. You steel yourself and it goes away. All right. So, you guys have a peaceful remaining day of travel. You guys are almost right at the border of Valensun and Mardeau when you guys make camp. Again, as long as you guys are traveling with this caravan, night watch is going to be set up by those who are working directly for the caravan. So you guys can help yourselves to assisting with the watch if you so desire, but it is not necessary.
Because it would physically pain Olwen to see like a haphazard like string to attach something made out of leather. Can you take some time to make a proper like strap for the rock?
You have leather worker's tool.
That's such a good piece.
Just a very simple like slip knot.
Yeah.
And then just like a square knot behind the neck.
Olwen is like physically like cringing. It's like, that's such a good piece of leather to use.
Physically pained seeing this. I think Olwen's love language is gift giving. Only because he can't stand to see people do things improperly. Amazing. All right, but you guys settle down for the night.
You think I'm gonna leave that unaddressed, G?
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do.
I was just gonna say, as we seem to be into a safe place on the road before we even settle down, I'm gonna make sure that everyone, including Suda, knows that poster had Suda's face on it. And it wanted you to go back to Wolves Landing to the Conclave. Did something happen that we should know about?
I mean, we all have pasts, don't we? I mean,
it's quite a feat to be wanted in Understone in particular.
Your past seems to be intruding on our present.
But nobody was hurt, no? It's no big deal, I'm sure.
The guards and military get things wrong all of the time. You know, maybe it's just someone that maybe it's an honest mistake. To anyone,
there's guilt like written all
to anyone has even like a sliver of insight higher than 9. Owen is lying through his teeth. He's just, I ain't gonna snitch on someone just because they were on wanted poster.
Who among us has not been on a wanted poster, really?
Kuvos.
Sage.
So half of us may or may not have been on wanted poster.
I mean, in fairness,
half of the party raises their hands and the other half of
I don't know if that was an in-character question, because I don't think Caradwin's ever actually been on a wanted poster. It's the
Caradwin's too good.
I don't get caught. No judgment. No judgment. Some people are less sneaky, you know?
I think seeing the guilt written all over Suda's face, Kuvos is going to look over and say, it's very strange that the Empire is asking someone to bring you to the Conclave. when you have no connection with the Conclave. Unless you do.
Oh, what's my deception at? All right. I am going to roll deception. And this is what I'm going to say. And of course, anybody can clock me otherwise. There may have been a falling out with a conclave member. And they probably just want me to explain my side of things. Yeah. It's a 14.
That's a natural 17 plus 4 for my insight.
Kubus is like, I don't buy your shit.
That's an 11? That explains everything. We have no reason to ask more questions.
If we're doing perception, it's a 17, 19. If we're doing insight, okay, hang on. It is
I got a 7. I'm just questioning what the fuck you did to be wanted in Understone of all places.
I will clarify. I did say it was a wanted poster. It's not that Suda is wanted for anything. It's saying someone in the Conclave wants to speak to her. She's a person of interest in something.
You're not being arrested. We just want to ask you some questions.
We just want to ask you some questions.
You're not under arrest.
So
you don't need a lawyer.
Stop, you're going to radicalize our audience. Actually, don't stop. No, but yeah, it's not that they're saying you're a wanted criminal. It's just that we need to talk to you about something.
Even then,
essentially, is what it is.
I mean, my passive insight is 15, so like even without trying, I'm like, there's more to this. But again, it's not really my business as long as it doesn't cause us too many problems.
Well, so far, all it's done is slow us down.
They just wanted to ask them some questions. I'm sure that we can move.
I'm just going to say, Suda, am I going to have to lie as a member of House Lindaris to members of House Shradmore who are on my land? This could get complicated.
You know, jokes aside, didn't Kuvos say she resembled someone he knows? It could really be somebody that she just looks like.
In response to Elena's comment or question, Suda gets angry. Like there's just this like defensiveness that drops over her shoulders. I never asked you to lie for me. That was your own decision.
Noted. Elena turns and leaves.
Duke Leto said that it was all of us or none of us, so if we want to be going to Morakros, I think we do need to make sure that you're not being carted away to Understone first.
I think the only thing that we need to know is that we don't know anything. We didn't see anyone. I do not recognize what is on that poster. I don't speak common.
No. I was just told, like, Elena's like dead face serious. I was just told not to lie, that it was not asked for. So I suppose I won't do it again. Fixes Suda.
Fine.
Good. I'm glad we're clear. Turns and leaves. For real this time.
Kuvos kind of hates the tension.
Here's the thing, you guys were doing this before we go to bed.
Never go to bed angry.
Yeah, his hands, he's sort of like fidgeting. The staff is put away. He's not holding it like he usually is, but this time he's fidgeting with like some random spell components that he's now pulled out and is like playing with while this conversation's going on. And he kind of looks up at Suda and says, I'm not going to ask you to explain if you're not in a place to. But take it from me, the Conclave does not go to the Empire for anything. If they're using House Shroudmore to get to you, there's more going on here than meets the eye, and that causes some concern for me. I just want us to stay out of trouble.
Partially to like cut the tension, Olwen is going to say, but genuinely, if you go up to a guard or someone from the military and you say, I don't speak common in a different language, it works a surprising amount of the time. Like, especially if you're dirty enough, they kind of just think you're some insane commoner. It does work. See, the less they respect you, the less they will think that you are capable of what they're accusing you of. It's really good.
Or you can just be innocent.
But when that doesn't happen, you can.
Is it going to be dry enough for you to sleep outside tonight, Olwen?
No. But it's okay.
Oh my god.
Has there
Amazing.
been
Yeah.
at any point, anytime that Kuvos has used his sending stone, that Suda might have clocked it? Or Kuvos has been pretty good at...
He's been attempting to be sneaky about it, as sneaky as a 19-year-old boy who has never had to be sneaky in his life can be. So I don't know if Suda would have been observant enough to clock it, especially the other night when he used it. But
well, yeah,
I'd say
unfortunately her passive perception is terrible.
We also were explicitly sleeping in a different room last night.
All right, so I'll change my my adjust my character's thought process on this. Well, it's a good thing then that you don't ask. But if it so concerns you, you can go back to your overlords and ask them, and probably gonna walk away.
Kuvos's jaw clenches. And I think at this point he had just gotten done hiding the symbol on his jacket and asking Alina for some assistance because and would have been asking Alina for some assistance because this boy has never had to sew a day in his life. And he kind of stares down at the cloak for a moment. And that one kind of hits hard. In a sense that, like, he's seen a lot of bias against the Conclave. And all he's trying to do is get the full picture and help. And it's one of those moments where it's like, what on earth have they done that's making me the target of all of this? And kind of just defeated, he's going to go after Alina and ask her to help him fix this stitching because it's not going the way that he hoped when he tried to do it himself.
Oh dear, here, come here. And she takes a moment and does a ritual cast of Invisible Servant. Alina doesn't stitch. Come on. But her servant is a master, very, very good stitcher who does it all the time. So her unseen servant takes the cloak and starts stitching. And while they're working, she gives you kind of a long look and looks very thoughtful. And after a period of silence, goes, when we first met at the funeral, You seemed to recognize our friend for a moment. Or you said that you did and then realized you'd made a mistake. Who did you think she was?
Well, that's where my concern is. I thought she was an old friend from the Conclave. And Naime was a good friend. And she was very by the book. I would never expect to see her face on a wanted poster.
You know more of magic than me. It's not my realm. But and you can sort of see from her face her hesitation. Elena is having trouble revealing something here. I sometimes hear things. What's going on in people's heads. It's weird. It's not always the easiest. But anyway, the first time we met, I slipped into Suda's head. It wasn't necessarily intentional, but it happened, and there were two voices there, not one. And I think she did know you. She called you Fish Boy, and one of the voices knew your name and said that you were someone from the other voice's past. Does that mean anything to you?
Kuvos stiffens for a moment. Just like the idea of the arcane possibilities of what could have possibly happened for this to be the case working in his head. And we don't have to go into the technical details of it, but he would ask you exactly what spell you cast, the mechanics of that spell, and go into the nitty-gritty of...
And she can't give you a lot of detail. This is very instinctual casting that is happening here, and it is not something that she currently has control over, which might... Clearly, you're very intent on certain information right now, but something to potentially file away is that you notice, like, wait, she's not, like, this is not typical someone has powers things going on.
It's not. It doesn't feel like she studied it in order to obtain it.
Right.
Which would definitely interest Kuvos, but at a time when he's not freaking out about the fact that one of his former close friends, or someone he considered a close friend, might be trapped in the brain of someone he's now traveling with. I can never think of an instance where I've been taught that is a possibility for two people to share the same consciousness. But stranger things have happened in the world of the arcane. It would explain why I keep feeling like I see her. Why I thought I heard her voice when she was talking to those children.
It would explain a few things, I suppose.
And he kind of looks in the direction that Suda walked. I don't think she's going to be very forthcoming about any of it, though.
Of course not.
And I'm not going to bring it up to the Conclave. Because if that is my friend in there, I would not want to put her in any danger over this.
And now I find myself torn. Suda said not to lie for her. But I don't want to hurt your friend either.
I appreciate that. If you come to face the necessity, a warning might be enough.
Understood.
And I think with that, Kuvos would sort of nod to the unseen servant for helping sew on the turtle patch. Nod to Alina. in thanks. And even though Olwen was like, no, it's far too wet to sleep outside, Kuvos is gonna steal Carrie's perch for a minute and sit on top of the Vardo for a while and just think.
As we're wrapping up this day of travel, you guys, as I said, are just at the border of Mardo and Valensun. You guys are about to enter the centralmost kingdom of the Empire. You are all in your various spots, everyone kind of both cooling down and recollecting their thoughts from the confrontation that occurred earlier in the day, thinking about the implications of what it could mean, of who these people are. And when I say who these people are, I mean the people looking for Suda, the obvious one, but also who these people are that share this wagon with you. Because you don't know. That's a question that is going to be answered the further you all travel, because, well, you're all going down into the earth together, at the very least, so you'll have a chance to learn then. Anything else from anyone here before I wrap up the evening?
I'm so sorry to ask, but did the two of them go far away enough that they weren't in Olwen's eyesight?
They were at the front of the caravan where
Okay.
Vito was. So I'll say, what's your passive perception?
22.
22. That's a pretty damn good passive perception. I'll say you picked up on most of that conversation.
Thank you.
That's what it says in the
I gotta
DM's
respect
guide
for
where it talks
22.
about setting difficulties. Like 22 is pretty damn good.
That's a pretty damn good passive perception. I gotta honor that. I gotta respect that.
I think Olwen is also going to be outside. Not because, like, it would be comfortable there, but because he knows that he can't lie for shit. So he's just going to sit there, just outside in the rain, thinking to himself, like, people have got to move further away when they're having secret conversations. Normally, I don't mind. There's a use for that, but I didn't need to hear this.
Damn these super keen ears.
I think as Kuvos joins Caradon at the top of the wagon, Caradon's not going to say anything, recognizing that some shit just went down, and I know that there's been a few interesting, slightly unexplained interactions with Suda, but we've not yet reached the point where that's actually my business. And I know that Kuvos asked me about her just the other day. So clearly there's some thinking that needs to be done. So I am focused very much on the road behind us, where once I was more sort of not paying attention to anything, just sort of observing casually. I am actively keeping a watch on the road behind us now.
Settling down for the evening, I'll say, Elena, your horse, you're making sure well taken care of for the night before you retreat back into the Vardo to sleep in the bed that's in there, kind of settling in for the night. There's a point of walking. It's just a few feet from where you tie up your horse to the door of the Vardo. A point of walking just on the outside of the caravan. Just a couple feet. It takes just a very short amount of time to cross those two. Walking from your horse to the door of the Vardo, the lanterns hanging off of the caravan cast a shadow on the muddy, thick, muddy road below you. And you kind of glance just casually, just kind of looking around the area around you as you walk just this couple of feet to the door. And it's hard to see at first. But you know what you see, because when you turn your head, your shadow does not turn its head. And that is where we're going to end our session for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a fantastic time. I have a fantastic time every time playing with these wonderful players. I sincerely hope you will join us for next time as we uncover more secrets and conflicts as we enter Mardeau, approaching Walking Still, where we will enter the city of Mor Akros. Thank you, everyone, and as always, please take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh my god, I'm dying.